Welcome to the newest episode, a midweek edition of Beatin' and Bangin'. I'm your host, Kyle Dalton. We've got a lot to cover in today's video, so let's not waste any time and get started. And we're going to start on Monday and what I heard from Joe Custer on SiriusXM NASCAR Radio. The Haas factory team president talked about the challenges of closing the doors at Stewart Haas Racing and how most of the employees found homes at different organizations. Custer also discussed the 2025 Cup season for the new single-car organization and revealed why it might go better than fans expect.
There's some strengths to it, and there's some challenges to our business model going forward. And if we address the weaknesses or the areas of concern, I think we'll be fine. If we use them for excuses, we'll probably struggle. So far, our group hasn't approached it that way. So far, everybody's looking as an opportunity. Ford, we are tier one with Ford. So every bit of technology from Ford that we've received in the past will flow through. We've got this robust relationship with RFK. So we've taken steps to minimize those areas.
I think it will be really good for the team to have its relationship with RFK, but I think the more important thing Custer said was the Tier 1 relationship with Ford will still continue. That's significant and reminds me of listening to Ricky Stenhouse Jr. on the channel just a few weeks ago, talking about their one-car organization is way down in the pecking order with Chevrolet and doesn't get much help from the manufacturer like sim time and other benefits. Listening to Custer, that could turn out to be a big advantage for the Haas team in 2025. Moving on to our next item, and it also came on Monday when I was scrolling on social media and stumbled onto a video on X from the Mobile One Racing account. Take a look.
Who's the biggest gamer in the group?
Bubba.
I don't play.
Well, I don't even have it set up in the new house.
Bro, it was really bad in the off season last year. I mean, we'd go from 9 p.m. There was a couple 6:30 in the morning.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Clearly, Wallace likes to play video games more than his Toyota teammates until all hours of the morning. However, that said, I can only imagine that type of scenario won't be happening anytime soon in the near future at the Wallace household with the recent arrival of the couple's son, Bex. Our next item also occurred on Monday when I read a rumor about Truck Series driver Chase Purdy and his Instagram account. So I went and checked it out and saw that his profile did in fact include former after NASCAR driver. Doing my due diligence, I wanted to further verify if this was accurate, so I went to X to see if he had said the same thing there. He did not, at least not in his profile. However, I scrolled back to a month ago and the final truck race of the 2024 season. In that post on November 10th, it definitely sounds like Purdy's racing days are over and he's moving on to the next chapter. Moving on to Tuesday, I saw a post on the North Wilkesboro Speedway X account from Monday that showed the historic track and its dilapidated conditions in 2019 with the weeds overgrowing the facility. It also included the tweet from Dale Earnhardt Jr. that said, quote, "She's getting a trim for an important date with iRacing," end quote. If you notice, that post was made 5 years ago to the day. It's incredible to think about the transformation of that track, which had been left for dead, and now it's going into its third year of hosting the All-Star race. I was fortunate to go to this past year's race and see the facility up close and personal, and it was absolutely phenomenal. I have to admit, it was also pretty damn cool to see Kyle Larson choppering in from Indy. I think that post from Earnhardt, and more specifically what's happened in the last 5 years with North Wilkesboro, should give hope to fans that bringing any historic track back is possible. It's just got to get buy-in from those in power to make it happen. Also on Tuesday, Chase Briscoe revealed that he has been playing the long game since late June in New Hampshire, when Christopher Bell inadvertently slipped up and confirmed that Briscoe was joining Joe Gibbs Racing in 2025. Here's a little reminder of that awkward moment in June.
I don't think that there really is a leadership role in that aspect. And whenever Chase comes into the car, whenever I don't even know what to say. Whenever we have a new driver into the 19 car, whoever that is, their experience level will dictate how much input they have in the team.
And here's what Briscoe told reporters the next day.
So
yeah, I just kind of laughed at it. I thought it was pretty good. Typical Christopher. So yeah, it was pretty funny.
Are you angry that he's apparently spoiled your news?
I mean, I felt like kind of everybody kind of knows what's going on, right? So I don't know. I think the official announcement, whenever that is, hopefully we can have something official soon. But yeah, I wasn't really mad. It was kind of funny, I thought.
On Tuesday, JGR's newest driver returned the favor by releasing breaking news on Bell that the number 20 driver will be making his return to the Chili Bowl this year, where he's won 3 times in the past from 2017 through 2019. Guess I'll finally get him back for this. Pumped to see C-Bell racing back at CB Nationals this year, Briscoe wrote on X. A short time later, Bell responded. See you guys at CB Nationals, he wrote. But first, gotta get some seat time with Power iRacing this weekend. As I've talked about in the past on the channel, JGR struggled the latter half of 2024, with no cars winning a race after Bell did it, ironically enough, at New Hampshire in the same weekend of his gaffe. The organization didn't have a car qualify for the Championship 4. It's already clear the 2025 season will have a different look, with Briscoe driving the number 19 in place of the now retired Martin Truex Jr. But the organization, with its decision to lift the ban on dirt and sprint car racing, already seems to have a different feel. There's obviously a chemistry there between Bell and Briscoe. JGR fans can only hope all of it translates into success on the track and they can turn around the company's recent lackluster results next year. Also on Tuesday, I was listening to the on-track show on SiriusXM NASCAR Radio with Danielle Trotta and Larry McReynolds when they started talking about the announcement on Monday that the number 8 would return to JRM with the old font style so many people loved after Teresa Earnhardt finally relinquished the rights to the number's trademark back in June. During that conversation, McReynolds candidly shared what he thought about Teresa holding on to the number for all those years.
I love. So
what's weird,
this story
it took
makes me happy.
15 plus years for this to come to fruition. 15 plus years for this to finally happen.
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't know why she was holding on to it. I mean, can you make money? Like, does it include die casts? I guess the trademark would include all sales, or is it just
Absolutely.
like a competition?
Yeah. I'd say it could be a part of die-cast sales revenue and just plain old ego.
Yeah. So she was probably making money off of it for a while.
Money and ego. Old Larry Mack flat out telling it like it is. And finally, our last story of the day has a completely different tone, and it's actually one I accidentally stumbled onto last night while watching the documentary Superman, the Christopher Reeve story with my wife. First off, I definitely encourage anyone who wants to see a truly inspirational story to check it out. It was just past the 12-minute mark in the documentary and in June of 1995, a couple weeks after his accident, when the family was at the hospital celebrating the 3rd birthday of Reeve's son, Will. As they're singing, the cameras show the cake, which features a couple of checkered flags and the cars of Jeff Gordon in front and Davey Allison right behind. It was a really sweet moment that included NASCAR in an otherwise very difficult situation for the family. Again, if you haven't, go check out the documentary. You'll be glad you did. And finally, just a couple orders of business to take care of before we wrap it up. First, if you haven't seen our Christmas gift guide and you're interested in winning one of the great gifts we're giving away, including an RC car, go check it out here. And second, while it is the off season, there's plenty going on behind the scenes here at Beatin' and Bangin'. I'm super excited about the variety of things we are working on for the 2025 season. One of those is engaging more with you. There are multiple ways I plan on doing that, including streaming and chats. Another way I'd like to try and get you guys more involved is having you help me come up with some questions for the drivers. For example, I'll be covering the Daytona 500 in February. We'll have the entire 2024 season and this past off season to reflect back on and pull questions from. I can think of tons of things to ask, but I want to know if you have a specific question for your driver or another driver that you'd like answered. Be creative. There are no dumb questions. I like to think outside of the box, and I know the drivers get tired of answering the same boring questions, so don't hesitate to send me what you might think are your wildest ideas. If I select your question to be asked, A, I'll let the driver know it's a fan question, and B, I'll give you a shout out in the video. In 2024, we really started to pick up some steam on the channel, and I'm really hoping to roll with that momentum and take it to the next level next year with you guys. So be on the lookout for more news on this in the future. All right, guys, that's a wrap on today's episode. We covered numerous topics, and I want to get your thoughts on all of it. First, let's start with the Monday remarks of Joe Custer. What do you expect out of Cole Custer and the number 41 team in 2025? Do you think he has a legitimate chance to win a race? Moving on, for any of you gamers out there, who can relate to Bubba Wallace and pulling all-nighters? For you North Wilkesboro fans, can you believe what's happened with the track since Dale Jr.'s tweet 5 years ago? Absolutely incredible to see and great for the sport. And what did you think about Chase Briscoe leaking the news on Christopher Bell's appearance at the Chili Bowl? I think the better question is, do you think this chemistry between the two drivers will translate to on-track success next year? And finally, what are your thoughts on Larry Mack's remarks on Teresa Earnhardt? Are you happy to see the old number 8 finally return to the track in 2025? Let me know in the comments section. Thanks again, guys, for checking out the latest video and supporting the channel. I really and truly appreciate it, and hope you have a great rest of your day.